welcoming you back to the desk of Caddicarus. Join us as we partake into a new installment of Current Quickies.
Hello, my duckies, and this time we're going to be having a look at South Park: The Stick of Truth. This game here is actually really good. There's nothing really about South Park which can be said that hasn't been said already, but what we can say is that most movie licensed games can be pretty awful. And after the long delays with this particular title, understandably, lots of people, including myself, were skeptical. But then we all found out about Matt Stone and Trey Parker's heavy involvement with this game, which was then followed up by tons of awesome trailers and the rumours of it being a turn-based RPG, which, unsurprisingly, got everyone real excited. But the question is, how is it then? Well...
This game is pretty damn great. I don't really have to explain much about it when all I have to say to you is South Park turn-based RPG, because I'm sure your imagination could fuel everything that this game is. And that's probably my favourite thing about this game, the imagination. South Park and Obsidian went completely no holds barred with this game in nearly every regard. Everything from the attacks, boss battle, special abilities, summon characters, items you collect, the glorious presentation that nearly sells the game alone, and not to mention the absolutely fucking fantastic comedic writing which actually had me laughing out loud from start to finish. And it absolutely never failed to keep me from smiling. And even though I didn't get every single solitary reference in this game, it's still fucking hilarious thinking about some of the ingenious scenes, funny moments, and the perfect way it captures the innocent yet epic times of being a kid battling with sticks and letting our imaginations do the work. And honestly, the essence of that is captured perfectly in this game. The level of detail here is simply jaw-dropping, not only by making it feel like a truly interactive entire box series of the show, but everything from the radios, TVs, posters, and other residents you bump into in every single area you explore are either a reference from the show or completely original content that is completely missable and optional. So exploring as much of South Park as you can is essential for the full experience. Exploring, as well as giving you tons of junk to trade and sell, also benefits you with more entirely upgradable items and weapons for battling, not to mention letting you find loads of fun and diverse side quests in order to level you up or find more Facebook friends in order to unlock more perks that you can use in battle. The battle system itself I found to be immensely enjoyable, because while the system is turn-based, which isn't my preference of gameplay unfortunately, it uses a lot of incredibly fun and skillful mechanics alongside the strategic mechanics, and it borrows from games such as Paper Mario with button press, special damage, blocking and countering systems, which is really fun, rewarding and immensely addicting. It not only combines the hundreds upon hundreds of upgradable weapons to add more strategy and different approaches to battle, but all of the different buddies that you can team up with and use all the special abilities with give you an entirely different and insanely funny fighting experience every single time you play. And what I really love is just how surprisingly deep the combat system is, especially with defenses and positions of enemies in battle. But despite all of the variety, choice, magic, fart abilities and so on, the whole thing is actually incredibly simple to get the hang of. Very approachable, accessible and never stressful. And if I could tell you how much I love the lack of random encounters, I could go on all night. Not to mention the music is surprisingly epic, and this is a lengthy game that we have here, and I'd say it's definitely worth the money. And that's because it doesn't mess around with letting you know all the time, effort, and charming heart that's gone into every corner of it. Also, making your own South Park avatar character is fucking amazing. That is all.
Blah, 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 blah. Now, despite all of that stuff, there are a few things I don't really like with this game.
Okay, I'll start off by saying that you may have heard me say earlier that I don't like turn-based RPGs, and I don't, that's true. And because I don't like them and completely suck at them so much, I feel like I'm in a good place to say that because I didn't find the game too hard at all, this can't be a good thing. Even when I turned the difficulty up to the hardest setting, I still got through this game in a very chilled and very cruising manner, minus the gradual difficulty increase towards the end of the story, which overall I found to be a shame. Just for examples, I rarely found myself using healing items and kept maxing out with them all the time. The prices for gear and upgrades I found to be extremely reasonable and sometimes almost too cheap, and where the battles and boss levels offer some decent challenge, don't get me wrong, I never felt pressured at any point and I never died once. And this is partly due to the fact that for most of the bosses and nearly all of the battles, I found myself applying the same exact strategies over and over and over and over again in order to win, because it was just the easiest and strongest method of beating anybody. The choice you have and variety of attacks are fantastic, but when you find a repeating dominant strategy in a turn-based game that allows you to win against most of your opposition pretty relaxingly, it makes you feel a bit too overpowered sometimes. There are lots of moments where this doesn't work, yes, especially for the enemies immune to certain attacks, but it does work for the majority of the game, especially when upgrading all of the best weapons you get to destroy all the enemy weaknesses. And I know that most of us Europeans have been complaining about the certain censored scenes, but really guys? You really want to see hardcore anal probing that much and not having it makes the game worse? I mean, come on. I know censoring like this makes no sense and has to stop, and it's really fucking stupid that out of everything in this game they choose to censor this, but honestly I thought the censor screens benefited the comedy of the situation a great deal, and I found these to be much funnier than outright showing anal probing. But then again, that's just me. And overall I'd definitely say this game is worth picking up. What's brilliant is that even if you aren't a fan of South Park, there's still a ton of creativity, addictiveness and great fun to be had with this game, bearing in mind you can ignore the often downright offensive sense of humor. And honestly I'd say the price point is worth it solely to explore the awesome town of South Park with your own special and personal character for the universe. When it comes to TV and movie licensed games out there, this is definitely one of the more surprising, finest and funniest that I've personally ever played, despite the few things that I think it could iron out. And if it can convert me of all people, a guy who hates turn-based combat, and actually make me enjoy the game mechanics a lot, then it must be doing something brilliantly correct.
This game here gets an 8 out of fucking 10.
Hello everybody, and thanks very much for watching my incredibly fast-talking, quick rundown of the Stick of Truth. If you enjoyed this video, then please don't forget to hit that little like button because it helps me and all of your favorite content creators out a ton. And if you want to see more of the shit that I do, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and don't forget to subscribe. Links in the description. Also, to you beautiful people, do you want to know what games I picked up recently? Which games are on my shelves right now? Which equipment I use? And what games I'm currently playing? Well then head on over into the description to gamesgrabber.com, a new gaming social site that allows you to see exactly what I'm buying related to gaming and video making, as well as direct links to get the things yourself. Trust me, you will not regret it. And if it's your birthday today watching this video, happy freaking birthday to you, and please remember to stay beautiful.